What's up, everyone? We've got a group here for you tonight. We are going to have fun tonight. I'm excited. I've actually been thinking about this all week. We are going to get into the MCU from 2021, Disney Plus, the movies, everything in between. There will be plenty of spoilers for you guys if you have or have not watched Spider-Man. We're definitely going to close out talking about that. But first, tonight, only three of us. Jay from Pressable Defects, what's going on?
What is up, guys? Happy New Year. Wrapping up the MCU 2020 year. It's been a wild ride. Excited to 2021. That's right. Excited to talk about it and see what's coming in the future, man. A lot of rumors going around.
I mean, we did this all year with the Disney Plus. Only right we close it out all together, right?
Absolutely.
Jem, what's up, man? Putting out crazy videos.
Yo, you don't have our names on the screen. I got a good nickname for this show.
How do I do that?
You know what? I'll find it, but when it counts, I never. Yeah, man. You know, put some end of the year videos together. Those are always fun to do. Yeah.
There you go.
Same shit.
MCU. That is a good name.
Yeah. Right? I like that.
Yeah, this should be fun, guys. We're going to talk about this. And I'll tell you the one thing, as much as all of us broke down the Disney Plus stuff, we haven't gone over the actual MCU big screen movies together as a group. So we're going to touch on all of it quickly, wrap up by talking about next year, 2022. So we're going to get right into it. And it all started with us right here on the screen and Matt in January with WandaVision. Mm-hmm. That was the first thing we got in well over a year from Marvel. Jay, WandaVision, go ahead. Off the top of your head, what do you think?
WandaVision, all right. I didn't like the series as much as everybody did, but what I did like is the speculation behind the series and how everybody was going crazy, waiting for the next episode, seeing who was going to pop up, see if it was going to be Mephisto, if it was going to be Adam the Blue Marvel. I enjoyed the series. I just thought it was a little weird, but listen, at the end of the day, it's comic book content on Disney Plus. So how could I complain? You know, and it set things up for the future. It definitely did. I think we'll see the effects of WandaVision when we see Doctor Strange too. I think that'll play a huge part of it. And I'm definitely going to go back and watch WandaVision before that movie comes out. Because like I said, I think it's going to touch on a bunch of stuff.
Which is so cool because that's the thing. Like the MCU was always dope because it connected, right? And then when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of connected, I was like kind of into it. And then I ended up not even I didn't watch the whole thing, you know? So the fact that, like you said, WandaVision, the end of WandaVision is going to leak into Multiverse of Madness. We've seen Dark Scarlet Witch or whatever you want to call her. So that has me hyped as well.
So, all right, out of 10, I loved WandaVision. I thought it was great. The speculation behind it, all of us with our theories on what was going on. What a great way to come back.
Look what they were giving us, like AIM guys coming out of the ground or the beekeeper. And then they had like the fly thing. They had like a lot of, they were throwing like curveballs at us. You know,
I'll tell you and it wasn't meant to start the Disney Plus run. Falcon Winter Soldier, I think, was supposed to be the start.
Which was like a safer bet, it sounds like, right?
Without looking back. How much fun was WandaVision? We've done all these live shows, right? For basically every Disney Plus show on all of our channels, right? WandaVision had the most views for us because people were like, what's the spec? What's going on? What's the theory? What do we do? Like none of the other shows, maybe Loki.
Right. That's the only, those are the two. Those are my top two. Right. And maybe I don't want to spoil the order yet. But
yeah, we don't want to spoil things, but like people were way into that. They were non-comic book fans, hardcore into WandaVision. Was it different? Hell yeah, it was different. But I liked the different. I thought it was fun. It blew, like as strong as 2020 was for the comic book market. We could almost sit here and debate that WandaVision sent the speculation market into another stratosphere. Like it sent it off.
Look how many Easter eggs they gave you. They gave you a Grim Reaper Easter egg off the bat. They gave you the Wizard. Right. They gave you Cthulhu. They gave you Adam Blue Marvel. They gave you Mephisto. They gave you Darkhold, right? They gave you Wonder Man. They gave you White
Vision.
Yeah, they gave exactly.
Much. Scarlet Witch.
So that's what I'm saying. I think
Speed
all that
stuff, and what's his face? The kids.
Wiccan, Speed.
And look. And that was the first tease that we might be able to get characters from Fox. That was the first, and look where we're gonna go at the end of the show, right? So that was the little morsel that made me be like, anything is possible now, right? And it is.
Oh yeah, I thought it was awesome. I want to hear from the chat. A score 1 through 10. What do you give WandaVision? Jay, what did you give WandaVision altogether? 1 through 10.
Altogether, I'll get. If it wasn't, I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7 based on the speculation and how excited I was to see what popped up and what Easter eggs they would give each episode. If it wasn't for that, it'd probably be like a 6, but it gets that extra point to keep, it kept my brain racing and it kept me thinking.
Jem, where are you going?
So it's going to be hard to give this a score, especially because if we're going to be scoring everything, right? So that means I can't give everything. I can't give this a 9 and then give something else a 9 if I like it better. You know what I'm saying? So maybe this is a new Jem score, 1 through 10, kind of in a ranking area. So this is, so can I just make up my own ranking system off the fly like this?
Yeah, if you want. If you want to go CGC, you can go 9.2, 9.4, 9.6.
Well, I was going to say like it's my number 2.
Okay.
You feel me? So
yeah. Across
it's my number 2.
For the year.
For the year.
The movies too. We're going to throw the movies in.
The movies count too? All right. You know what? So let me do this then. Let's do CGC scores. I'm going to give WandaVision a 9.2.
It's a strong grade.
9.2. It deserves a strong grade. Listen, when you said it was very different, not only was it different, but it was artistic. It was like classy in the sense how they made it. And they didn't do it the whole time. They gave us 3 episodes of it. Okay, let's throw back. I used to watch that stuff at Nick at Night. The cartoons were over.
Three black and whites, right? 2 black and whites.
I think it was 70s. Like 2.5 or something, right? Or something like that.
I loved it.
They gave you a little bit of that, but then they gave you MCU movie epicness, and they didn't skimp. Like, it was still high budget, the big red globe and everything. So I'm going to give it a 9.2.
9.2. I'm going to come real close to your grade. I think WandaVision was a 9. I loved it.
Rookie score.
It is like my 1 to 1A of Disney Plus for the year. I adored it. I don't know, beginning to end. I mean, I'm not like a Siskel and Ebert over here, but I thought Elizabeth Olsen was awesome. She was great. But that's it. All right, that was January. That was WandaVision, and it was fun because it actually rolled right into Falcon Winter Soldier, which we did on this channel also. And now let's switch it up. Jem, Falcon Winter Soldier, what'd you think?
Wasn't for me. I think they played it safe. It wasn't exciting. There was no Easter eggs they had small. Okay, there weren't as many Easter eggs as WandaVision. Who's the power broker? We kind of wanted to be excited about that, but then who really cares? They played it safe. The first episode was probably the strongest. That had the good action scene with Falcon.
Jay.
All right, I like Falcon Winter Soldier. I thought it maybe, you know what, coming off of WandaVision, it had that MCU feel to it. Again, I think that Falcon and Winter Soldier just set up Captain America 4. It was awesome to see Joaquin Torres. We know he's coming back as the next Falcon. We know Sam's coming back as Captain America. Another setup, man. I think Feige got it right with these shows. They might not be great, but I think it's going to be a setup for something that's going to be good, man. So if I gave Wanda a 7, I'm going to have to go, since we're doing CGZ scores, I'll give it an 8. I liked it. I like the action.
Wow.
I like Baron Zemo, dude. I liked his character. There was a couple.
Jay's a street level guy, street level hero, man.
Oh, he is, but that's what I like. That's what I enjoy.
No, that's what I'm saying. You are.
yeah. So I like Zemo. The power broker was a little disappointing.
Well, the one thing I'll say about the power broker is we don't know where it's going yet, right?
And what's her name again? She was
Sharon
disappointing altogether. I wasn't feeling that.
Nah, she was like whatever.
And like her character totally changed, and it didn't really feel right. I don't know.
It could be a Skrull, though. We talked about that. She could be a Skrull.
Anything
that was one thing we didn't talk about in WandaVision. They also gave us Secret Invasion.
Yeah, setting that up. But think about how they set that up in the first show. And we haven't seen really much since.
Nothing. Yeah, Each show has a little bit of like for instance, in Falcon Winter Soldier, what did they set up? They gave us Contessa, right? They gave us,
and we want to be excited, but it's kind of like it's not like the same.
I think this is the weakest of all the Disney Plus shows.
Well, you know what? So again, would it be in the setup? Now we know the backstory of Captain America and Force, so they don't have to go into all that. They could get right into the action, and they could get right into the plot without going into how he became, how Joaquin Torres became Falcon. All that's there already. You know what I mean? So they could just hop. That's what's good about these shows. They could hop right into the movie. We already got the backstory. Let's get right into it. And it's less cramming and more maybe focal points of the movie.
Here's my thing. I think they needed that for Cap 4 because who's Sam Wilson Cap's enemy? Who's the big villain of that movie, right? Like
maybe you bring back a Zemo.
Cool.
I don't know.
More of the same, So to me, that's why I'm just not into it. I'm going to grade this series a 6.5.
I'm going to go, Jem, we're kind of getting right in line here. The best part, in my opinion, the best part of the Falcon Winter Soldier series was actually seeing Falcon as Cap. I thought the costume was awesome.
It was good.
Yeah, I really liked it. Very comic accurate, and I'm a sucker for that. I like the comic accurate stuff. I'm going to go. There was some good stuff this year, and I'm going to say Falcon Winter Soldier was the weakest of maybe everything, including the movies. I'm going to go like a 6 on Falcon Winter Soldier. And you know what hurt this, in my opinion, too? It came after WandaVision. They were so different. And I think WandaVision had such a big following, like people were really into it. And the more this year went on, in my opinion, and the more Disney Plus shows we got and the more movies we got, the less important and the less like impressive this was.
And you know what's a shame? Because Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie had great chemistry, and they should have done more of the buddy cop thing. And what they did do was sometimes cringe, but it had potential. But I don't know, they just dropped the ball, in my opinion, on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually go with I'm gonna go with.
You gotta do it like one bite pizza. The first score you give is the one.
Yeah, that's it. One bite. Everybody knows the rules.
What did I say? I said 6.
No, you said 6. You stayed 6. 6. Yeah, we're.
Oh, we lose Jem. He froze. Uh-oh. Jay, you hear Jem or no?
I don't.
He's frozen.
He's frozen.
He's caught. He's frozen. We'll give him a second to come back. Let's see. Should I boot him and have him come back? His internet was a little squirrely there.
He's probably coming back on his own.
Yeah. All right. You want to move on?
Let's keep it moving.
So I'm going 6. Wanda, I went with, we kind of got a second of him. You said what? 8 for Falcon?
Yeah, if I gave Wanda 7, I listen, I like the action, dude. It's, it was sit back and enjoy it, and it set something up.
Yeah, it did. It's setting up possibly Thunderbolts. We got Contessa. First appearance of Contessa, too. This is the first time we saw her. I dug it a little bit. So, all right.
But remember, you got to go back. Remember, it wasn't supposed to be the first time we saw her.
That's true.
It wasn't supposed to be the first time. The first time we were supposed to see her was that Black Widow end credit scene.
Right. So they kind of fixed it really quick. So 6 for me, 6.5 for Jem, 8 for Jay on Falcon Winter Soldier. So we had WandaVision rolling into Falcon Winter Soldier. Falcon Winter Soldier rolling into, I think there was about a month and a half break, came Loki. Jay, Loki. I know you enjoyed this one.
I liked the Loki. I didn't like it as much as everybody else. The last episode definitely saved the season.
The whole.
It was a little slow. I'm not a fan of Owen Wilson.
What? Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah. Just in general, he just annoys me, that dude. But Loki, I thought there was going to be more spec stuff behind Loki too, with the timekeepers and everything, but they pretty much laid everything out. There was a couple Easter eggs here and there. You had Renslayer in there, which I liked, who ties into Kang, and they brought Kang in at the end. So the last episode definitely made that for me. And again, that sets up stuff too, man. We're going to get Kang. We're going to get the different versions of Kang.
The variants, man.
The variants, yeah. Immortus, he ties into Reed Richards. He ties into Doom. Kang ties into so many different things. If you're a comic book reader, that I'm really excited for his character. So yeah, I definitely think Loki gets an 8 for me as well. I definitely think that last episode tied everything together and brought in Kang, not the good Kang. I can't wait to see the bad Kang, though. I can't wait to see Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah, hell yeah. Jem, what do you think, Loki?
So Loki is my favorite show out of all the shows. I'm going to give it a 9.8.
Whoa.
Because there's still 9.9s and 10s out there. So I'm saving the 9.9s and 10s for something that's mind-blowing. But I'm going to give it a 9.8. I loved it even when people said this episode was slow. I like the train thing between Sylvie and Loki. I like the interaction. I like explaining the big overall thing, the timeline, the TVA, the multiverse, Kang. That was such a left field throw. I ate my words. I should have ate a shoe because I thought there was no way they're bringing this guy in at the 9th inning like that, and they brought him in with no tease. They teased a million things and throughout all these shows, and it came out of nowhere, man.
That's the best.
So that, then you got Tom Hiddleston. Come on, man. The best. He was the best MCU villain until Thanos came around. So he's up there, top tier MCU villain. Sylvie was probably the weaker part of the show, but I think she redeemed herself. Come on, Alligator Loki. And first of all, what I wanted to say in WandaVision, which applies here as well, classic comic book Silver Age costumes.
Yeah, I do. I like that too,
bro. So that's where I'm at.
So you're at a 9.8. So I liked Loki. I enjoyed it. I definitely think it closed real strong, like really, really strong.
It closed strong. Yep.
Did we get an end credit scene with Loki? Was it? I don't remember. It wasn't.
No,
Loki.
I think we got Kang. We got Kang. That was it, dude. We got like a 15-minute long conversation end credit scene, basically.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, I don't remember if I knew he got sent. He went to a different multiverse or something where nobody knew who he was.
Didn't they show something like the kid Loki was still alive walking with the people or something? Or am I thinking about something else?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I like getting the chat involved, guys. I see all your grades. I'm going with
Season 2 confirmation.
I did 6. I did 6 for Falcon Winter Soldier. I did a 9 for WandaVision. I'm gonna go with an 8 and 8.5. I'm going 8.5 on Loki.
Oh. We got the post-credit scene where he goes back to the TVA and was that post-credit or was that just the end where everything was different?
Where everything
and the Kang statues, yeah.
Yeah, that's what the B said, the Kane statue.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a Deep Dive Comics with that $10 super chat. None of the shows, Marvel or what's SW?
Star Wars.
Star Wars are higher than a 7. No Way Home was a 6 to a 7 before any blows up. No Way Home was like going to a strip club. You got to see everything you wanted and expected. You got a handy.
So you got what you paid for. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like stuck between an 8 and an 8.5. Kang sold it for me. I really liked Kang. How can you give the Star Wars Mandalorian season 2? I thought was really good.
Mandalorian single-handedly saved Star Wars from.
It may have
the Force Awakens to what was the last one? The Last Jedi.
I don't know.
I think Star Wars was done until your boy Favreau came through, just like he did for the MCU, baby. And I'm not even a Star Wars guy, but I like that. I like that it was good. You know what I mean?
You know what I liked? We're not going to get into the Mandalorian, but I just like that it had that old school Star Wars feel to it.
It did, and then
Jay, it felt like old Star Wars, didn't it?
Yeah, I did. I'm booting someone out of your chat because they're annoying me. Oh, never mind. He was already booted out by Michael the Beast. Thank you, dude.
I didn't even see it.
All right, we're not going to get into Star Wars. We're going to get into... Well, first, Jay, didn't it have like that old school Star Wars vibe, Mandalorian?
Dude, I got to be honest, man. I know how bad the Star Wars were. I still enjoy every Star Wars, man. It's just...
Okay.
I could sit there...
It's good to enjoy it.
I could sit there and watch them. Come on. They're not better than the original 3. 4, 5, and 6. Nothing touches that. But Mandalorian was dope.
Season 2, man. Once Ahsoka showed up, that show went on another level.
The first episode of Book of Boba, I'm not going to spoil it, but it answers questions, and
I haven't even seen it yet.
It gets into it.
All right, let's get now. June was Loki. Actually, my daughter was born during it, and then all of a sudden, boom, we're in July now, and Black Widow came out. And this movie came out a year or so after it was supposed to. So the order is all kind of shuffled up this year, right? With the movies where the shows where they were supposed to come out. This was supposed to be before that after this. So let's get into Black Widow. Jem, how'd you feel about this one?
So Black Widow, I didn't have any expectations for it. I was always one of the guys that was like, dude, I don't care about a character that, in my mind, in the grand scheme, is dead. I don't want a prequel about a character that we had a lot of in the Avengers movies. Like, we didn't need a Black Widow movie. She deserved one, and she should have got one after Winter Soldier, probably, right? But I had no expectations. It wasn't terrible. I wasn't like I couldn't watch it. It was cool. It was okay. I liked the family scenes. I liked Yelena, the father figure guy. What's his name? Red Guardian.
Yep.
The end thing, I didn't like the ending. The third act was kind of whack. The big pimp villain guy, that was pretty lame as well. And
Taskmaster.
And Taskmaster, they dropped the ball on. Yeah, I forgot about that. I understand. Don't be taking creative liberties with something you didn't create. That's my biggest problem with that, yo. If you didn't create it, respect where it came from, right? So
I'm a hardcore comic accurate guy. I want comic accurate with the costumes, the storylines you can play with a little bit because it's nice not to know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, exactly. Or mixing multiple storylines in one movie. I'm a fan of how they do that, right? But yeah, when you start changing entire origins and just care, like Taskmaster has a Taskmaster attitude. He has a personality. So like that just goes out the window now. You just threw it out the window.
Gone.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah. I mean, I thought Taskmaster started out great, and then you got the origin story of it. But
I was already like, the costume it's not really.
Oh yeah, I wasn't a
comic accurate, and so they already were starting on a negative with me, and then they changed the whole origin and like a mindless zombie type of fighter, right? Yeah, so this is lower than Falcon Winter Soldier for me. Then,
well,
I think I'm going to give it a 5.5. No. Ooh. First score. That's the first thing I said. 5.5.
That's it. He's in for 5.5. Jay, I'm gonna go before you because I'm nervous what you're gonna do to this movie.
I'm nuts.
To me, if Yelena wasn't in this movie, it may have been the worst MCU movie. Yelena saved it. I thought she was great. Red Guardian was awesome. The villains were trash. This overall story I wasn't into. I mean, yeah, are they setting stuff up? We get another shot at Contessa. The widows now are all out there. Yelena's running around saving them. I don't know. I'm definitely, I gave Falcon Winter Soldier a 6. I'm going to maybe give this. I'm going to give this a 6. I'm going to make it equal. To me, Yelena was the best part of this movie. The best part of this movie. And I don't even think it's close. Go ahead, Jay.
All right. So
I'll give it a 9. I like the action.
Starting off, the first half hour, like the setup with her and Belova, I thought was awesome, dude. How it went back to them being kids.
Yeah, I like that too.
Once that fight on the bridge happened and I saw Taskmaster, I'm like, oh God, where is this going? Then I went to the apartment and I'm like, oh God. But again, listen, they threw Scarlett a bone, right? They gave her own movie. I guess they gave everybody else a movie. They felt like, maybe a little bit of woman empowerment there and had to give her own movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then they turned around and screwed her on the money.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, exactly. Then they turn around and then the mouse fucked her on the money. But then
now they turn around again. She's directing something.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? We got Belova out of it. We'll get into her further on when we talk about other shows. A 6, dude. I mean, a 5 if there wasn't so much TNA in it.
Well, listen. Let me go
that's like women empowerment for you, Jay.
Just right out the window. So let me go back really quick because Jay, you made a really, really good point. And Jem, you have talked about this a lot. You said you went back and you talked about the origin, right? You saw them as kids, and that was great. Yep. And now, Jem, I know you have talked about this going all the way back to WandaVision, how that the MCU, these writers, these Marvel guys can take a small moment in a previous movie, a previous film, a previous story, and just extrapolate it into a whole big thing. And we got that in WandaVision with the Stark bomb not going off, right? Like we got that. And I thought that was really cool. I loved WandaVision. Not to go back, but these little, like Jay, the origin stuff, these little things.
So you know what it reminded me of, dude? It reminded me of the first 20 minutes of Wonder Woman, 1984. When I started watching Wonder Woman 1984 and you see her doing that, like, American Gladiator type obstacle course, I'm like, oh, this movie is going to be insane. I'm like, this is going to be great. And then they cut to the mall scene. Once I seen the mall scene, I'm like, oh, it's a wrap for this movie. There's no coming back from the mall scene. and there was no coming back. So it was almost something like that, you know, where it's like they just dropped the ball, man. Black Widow, like I said, man, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but the first half hour, the plane ride, all that stuff, I'm like, oh shit, here we go. This is gonna be good.
Well, Wayne Watts taking a shot at me for $5. The Thor guy trying to put something below Dark World. I don't know if Dark World's the worst MCU movie. I'm sorry. I know I'm a Thor guy, so I'm biased. That doesn't count. If Widow comes out here, very good point. If Widow comes out right after Civil War, it makes it way better. No one cared anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't say you're wrong here because we knew Natasha was gone.
Right.
So
we would have cared more that she died had we had her movie before.
We may have. That's a really good point. If this comes out after Civil War or after Winter Soldier, you know, somewhere in between Cap 2 and 3, we may have cared a little bit more that we lost her. But instead, I'm like, all right, later, Natasha, what up, Yelena? Because I think she's
exactly. Better. Yep.
But hey, what are you gonna do? All right, so we went from Black Widow. What did I give it, a 6? Where'd you go, Jay?
I gave it a 6, I think, because it would have been a 5, but I gave it a 6 because
yeah.
All right,
I gave it a 6. No, I gave it a 5.5.
So that was the first MCU movie of 2021.
But was it good? It was a home release. It was kind of all weird, right?
It was all messed up. It should have been out in 2020. Obviously, nothing did. So we're moving on from Black Widow to What If. Talk about that. Came out in August. That was a huge change. That was like episode after episode was either a hit or a miss. Jay, you ended up watching all that, right? Like,
all of it.
Some episodes were awesome. And literally other episodes I fell asleep during. So this is going to be a hard one to grade as a whole. Jay, what did you see? What if? First of all, how about this? Let's do it this way. Jay, favorite What If episode, worst What If episode. Go ahead.
Last episode of What If was my favorite, absolute favorite. And I like the if Black Panther was Star-Lord, I like that episode as well. Here's my thing with What If, right? You kind of put it up on a pedestal and you compare it, right? Yeah. I'm a big DC animated guy, and I think DC animation and their animated movies and stuff like that blew What If out of the water.
Oh yeah.
There was, like you said, there were some episodes I liked, and then there were some episodes I'm just like, I don't know if we would count this because it doesn't really tie into MCU, right? It's What If, just like the comic books.
But is it? But what about Doctor Strange?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, the Doctor Strange episode. But listen, I wasn't a fan of the comics growing up. I get the concept; it's pretty cool, episode by episode. But again, it's comparing it to DC animated stuff, and it just didn't do it for me, man.
Question from Flush Jackson: which DC animated movie blew away What If? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say all of them, but go ahead, Jay. What do you think?
Any Batman one, man.
Oh, Under the Red Hood.
Hush, The Killing Joke. DC animated movies are so dark.
The Killing Joke is, I don't know. That one's kind of tough to back up. But anyway.
You would go all the way back to Phantom Menace. But if you were talking recent, Under the Red Hood is probably one of the best animated.
Under the Red Hood, dude. All those DC movies that come out have a gritty, dark tone, dude. And listen, if we get into DC Marvel right now, Titans crushes any MCU show that came out so far, in my opinion. I love Titans.
Titans is a dark, grittier, which they could have done with Falcon Winter Soldier. Out of all the Disney Plus shows, they could have made a darker, grittier Falcon Winter Soldier. But that's not Marvel.
So real quick, not even to get off subject, but since we're talking about dark stuff, this is where Disney scares me, bringing in these street level heroes like Daredevil.
Oh, Mask of the Phantasm, I screwed up. Sorry, go ahead.
Kingpin, because I think it's going to be watered down, man. Like, it makes me nervous. What's Disney going to do with these characters? These should be R-rated shows. Moon Knight should be an R-rated show. How's it going to play out, man? That's what I'm worried about. As a street level guy, this is what I'm worried about with Disney.
Jay likes that gritty street, dark level, hand-to-hand, blood, busted up ribs.
He's a Marvel Knight. What do you want me to tell you?
Exactly. It's that Punisher Garth Ennis run, man. It's the Marvel Knight, you know? It's like, how they gonna do the Punisher on Disney Plus, man? We'll see. I don't know.
Stay optimistic. Stay optimistic. Yeah. All right, Jem, What If? What do you think? It's hard to, again, it's hard to break this one down. Favorite episode, worst episode.
It's hard. Yeah, and it's like, the Doctor Strange episode was great, but I did like the end, and it's kind of cheating because it's 2 episodes. But I love Ultron with the stones and Ultron. You know, I like Ultron. I liked Age of Apocalypse Ultron. You know, he was a little too funny, but whatever. He's made by Tony Stark, right? So that's the point. So I really like that. The problem with What If is I went in with super high expectations. I don't know why I didn't think it was going to be only MCU Marvel. Then I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. They're just doing MCU characters. I thought Marvel What If could have been anybody. It would have been you could have did whoever, Ghost Rider or whatever. So they only did, you know, MCU people. And then there were, like you said, episodes were hit or miss. I'm going to give it a 7.5.
7. That's a pretty good grade.
Yeah, because I mean, look,
safe. That's
the animation was good. It was a little Disney princess at times, but it was good. The sound effects were good. Yeah, I'm gonna give it I'm sticking with it. I have to. That's the rule.
Hey, what'd you give it? Did you even give it a score?
I'll give it a 7. I like Jem said, the animation was cool. It was something a little different. It almost felt like a video game type of animation.
Yeah, like a cell shaded.
It was definitely different. Again, though, in my head I was comparing, dude, and I guess it's not fair to compare, but that DC animation, dude, that craziness.
Wayne watched another $5 super chat. I'm going to skip that first part, but DC animated movies are sweet, but Invincible is king right now. I have to get into the Invincible. Sure. I have all the compendiums. I'm all about it.
Oh, it's a great read. It's like a page turner.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's Kirkham, isn't it?
Yes, and Ryan Otley.
I like Otley's art. He's a lot like Ryan. I feel like my boy Ryan does a little bit Otley-like, but I like Otley. All right, so for me, What If? Those last 2 episodes were amazing. I loved the Doctor Strange episode. The Doctor Strange episode and that's when I really started getting excited about the series. Then we got that terrible Killmonger episode, and I was like, that I fell asleep during that. I thought
that episode just kept dragging on and on,
dude,
right?
And then it ended at the best part. I'm like, oh, here comes like the cavalry, and then it ended. I'm like, this is terrible.
The Marvel Zombies was good, and that's leading into its own thing now, right?
Was pretty good. And then you get the Thanos at the end. I don't know. I liked 50-50. Like, I'm not going to give it a 5. I'll probably stick like 7. I feel like a 7 is a safe bet. I liked more episodes than I disliked, right? I think we can all agree on that. But it was not. It wasn't.
You know what? I was just thinking about what Jem said. I think it would have been so much better if they just took away from the MCU characters and brought in characters that you don't see. Maybe like a sick cosmic episode with Cosmic Ghost Rider or something like that. Like characters that we don't have in the MCU, just like Jem said, something different, but it's all repetitive shit, man. You know what I mean? So
maybe they wanted to save stuff like Silver Surfer for live action, so you don't know what they want to save. But they could have gone obscure. They could have gone just crazy obscure. I really don't have an example off the top of my head, but they could have. It was safe, right? Oh, we're just going to use this small group of characters that you already know from the MCU, and it's that version of them,
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, a little monotonous, right? But how are they going to show? I mean, I guess if you go obscure characters with What If, that's fine. But I didn't want to see a Galactus or Silver Surfer for the first time in the MCU in a cartoon. I want to see them. You didn't want to see Doom. Did you really want to see Doom in What If? I wouldn't.
I mean, I wouldn't have been opposed to it.
I'll take Doom and Galactus.
Make them way different than what the live action counterpart would be. Make them maybe more comic booky as
like Thanos was completely different.
Wasn't he, right? At least the nice one. The one that was chummy with Star-Lord, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Party Thor was whack. Terrible. I like the Sharon Carter one. I know a lot of people didn't like that one, but I dug it. I liked the Hydra Buster thing. But I didn't like how it's the same story, but we're just switching the person who is going to be that hero, but
let's move on to another big MCU movie. This thing they had big high hopes, I think, for this movie, and I think it did well, and I think it would have done a lot better if we weren't in the middle of a pandemic. But in September came Shang-Chi, and I liked about 75 to 85% of this movie. Let's start with Jem now. Jem, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, I liked Shang-Chi. Had low expectations. I think Marvel is getting cocky with we made Guardians of the Galaxy a household name. We can take anybody and make them cool, you know? So they're getting cocky and it's not working as much. But I liked how different it was than your typical Marvel formula. I liked the kind of like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon inspired scenes. I thought the comic relief was okay. I know a lot of people don't like Aquafina. I think it's her stage name. I didn't dislike it. I liked the powers. I liked the Mandarin, and nobody talks about. People bitched about the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, and never really gave props to this movie on kind of course correcting that and giving a good Mandarin, which I did like.
They did a great job with that, fixing that whole thing.
Nobody ever talks about that. I liked that whole other dimension world. I thought that was cool. And then what you don't like, we talked about off screen a little bit. The big dragon fight at the end. I didn't see that coming. I didn't think we were ever going to see the dragon. Kind of like if you're reading Kirkman's Firepower, it's like you never see the dragon, but it's like 18 issues in. I think we finally see it. Anyway, the big two dragon fight was different for me for an MCU movie. How often do you see dragons go at it in the MCU? Usually it's the Avengers versus a robotic army or a disposable army they can kill, right? This was different, man. So I did like it. Shang-Chi is just, the character himself doesn't have enough personality, I guess, right? He's kind of dull.
I don't want to get into it until it's my turn.
Let me give my grade. So my grade on Shang-Chi, I'm going to give it an 8.0.
That's just a solid movie. A solid MCU origin story, a solid movie.
I thought it was. It could have been better. It could have been a 9.8. It's a lot of grades away from that, but it wasn't terrible. It was better than others that have come out.
Jay?
I didn't appreciate until I watched it the second time. When I watched it the second time, I'm like, okay, I could get into this. I went with Guy and Matt to see it in the theaters the first time. And like you said, Garrett, the beginning was action-packed. The middle kind of dragged on. The ending was good. A lot of CGI. I'm with Jem. I give it an 8.0. I was hoping that dragon to be Fing Fang Foom.
Right.
It wasn't. I know it was heavy speculated. I thought Death Dealer kind of caught a weak, they built him up and he caught a weak death. I don't like that when they just kill off a character,
What was the name of the car? Oh, was it It was the name of something else in my mind. I don't know.
I liked the interaction
Razor Fist.
Oh, Razor Fist. Yeah, Razor Fist I liked. I thought he was a pretty cool character.
Actually.
He survived it. Survived it. We'll see him again. We haven't seen the last of him. I loved Aquafina. I thought she was, Shang-Chi needed that comic relief that she brought. So I thought that was perfect. They were a perfect team together. You see him singing karaoke together. At the end, you see him singing with Wong. I thought she was pretty cool. Her interaction with her family. She was funny. She brought a different element to it. Yeah. Gary, like you texted me today, I didn't like how she was Robin Hood at the, towards the end.
This chick turned into Legolas real quick in an hour. I'm like, what is this?
They should have just kept her as is, maybe just hit in the background during that fight scene. But I'm with Jem and 8.0. The first time I seen it, maybe like a 7. The second time an 8.0 for sure. And listen, they're pointing at him joining the Avengers, right? We're gonna get a new Avengers team. That's what it's leading up to. So. Again, guys, a comic book movie I enjoyed.
And look, the bus fight scene, that was dope, man. They had the martial arts aspect to it.
Yep.
I need to watch it again.
I'll tell you, I was watching this movie and I was like, holy crap. Literally, like halfway through the movie, I'm like, why don't people give this movie enough credit? Like, I was digging it hard. I'm like, this is great. The fight scenes were... we could argue that might be the best fight scenes in the MCU. Maybe not the grittiest, maybe not the most, elaborate, but like the fight scenes were really good. That bus scene was amazing. And I'm watching it. And then at the end, I was thoroughly disappointed that we got a dragon fight. I'm completely on the opposite end of Jem. I thought it was way too.
But look, wasn't it better that it was unexpected rather than just the traditional? What was happening in the background was your traditional MCU fight, the group of people versus the group of people, right? But then you had the dragons thing was just a new element in my.
You know what it was? I don't think it was the dragons that bothered me. I think it was him like floating in this air with the thing. I don't know. It just didn't do it for me because. I enjoyed like 75 to 85% of this movie a lot. Like I really was into it.
Gary,
just that very, very end kind of bothered me. I loved the end credit scene.
So that's what I was going. What do you think the beat? That's what Joe Hansen is asking. What do you think that the rings are a beacon to?
I'll tell you right now. Ask Matt. You guys got it. I wish Matt Forge was here right now. Ask Matt Forge about the beacons. Everybody thought it was Galactus.
Yeah.
If you go back and read about the rings, it'll tell you exactly what that beacon is. Those rings call out to something. So I'm not going to spoil it for Matt.
Tell us what it is.
I'm not going to spoil it for Matty Forge. Go Wikipedia the rings and go back and read about it.
Well, Matt's not here. Everyone's just going to go read it. You might as well tell him.
I can't take Matt's. He'll explain
Matt's credit.
You just gave him credit.
He'll explain it better than I can, guys. Trust me. He does he'll do a whole breakdown of it.
All right.
But it's not guaranteed not Galactus. I
wouldn't have thought it was Galactus.
Nah. You know what I'm disappointed? I thought we were going to get an end credit scene with Iron Fist and at least Kun Lao, but nothing.
Well, I'm probably going to give it like an 8 as well. I think I'm going to go 8 as well with you guys.
And look, you guys, if you read Super Demon Wizard's comment, that's exactly what it is.
There you go. Should I put that on there? There you go.
You might as well just told us.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's not as exciting, but all right, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, damn, Jay. Well, now he ruined it for Matt.
Sorry, Matt, man. I tried, dude.
He did try. He tried pretty hard, actually. He wasn't going to do it.
The Bay might be leading us here. This might be the way that clearly the beacon reaches out to Legolas. So
I thought the beacon reaches out to the Eternals that are with Eros and Pip the Troll. That's what I thought it was.
They could retcon stuff.
Yeah, exactly. They could retcon stuff. Comic book wise, it goes back to Fin Fang Foom and his planet.
I would love the Annihilation Wave. Yeah, well, Gary, I was with you on that investment tip, but I got out of it. But you're in there heavily.
Oh, I've got over 20. I've got over 20 shares of the first Annihilus.
My man got a short box of them.
That came out in September. This movie would have made a lot more money if we weren't in a pandemic, because this was good. I mean, I really enjoy. I don't understand why it didn't get enough love, and by the end of the movie I'm like, okay, I get it, like it's a dragon fight. Yeah, I don't know. Just I wasn't into it as much as other people, so be it. All right, with Shang-Chi then came out on my birthday, the Eternals. Jay, can you add anything to this quite yet?
I can't, because I have not seen the Eternals.
Yeah, all right, I didn't think you did. So
but you could spoil it for me. Go ahead.
No, we're not going into too much. You probably know everything in it anyway. Yeah. Jem, would you agree that we haven't seen an MCU movie with so much love or hate as Eternals?
Well, somebody in the chat was giving me shit earlier saying that I guess I gave something a bad score, but I loved Eternals. I put Eternals in my top 10 MCU movies.
Me too.
I really dug Eternals. I like what I tell you in the beginning, big cosmic explanation storytelling. We learned how the whole universe was made, the Celestials, and how they are born in planets, and what the Eternals' roles are. Butcher might want to earmuff it, but I like that. I like the they explained everything. They didn't leave anything out, and that's what I loved about it. I hate leaving a movie that I had questions about going in, leaving with more questions than I went in with.
It's funny you say this. I love that they really expanded on the Celestials, because we've heard them, we've seen them, and now we really got to know the Celestials. Like, we really dug into them a little bit. That was maybe one of my favorite parts.
Listen, I like the fight scenes. Angelina Jolie, I liked her unhinged, girl interrupted kind of vibe. I liked the individual personalities of the Eternals. I read the Kirby run, but I didn't have a big investment into the characters. That they couldn't have ruined it for me. They could have changed the whole Eternals character. I wouldn't even know. But with that being said, I'm going to give it an 8.5, a grade above the last Shang-Chi.
Right above it. The fight scenes in Shang-Chi compared to the fight scenes in Eternals are so different, but both phenomenal. I thought the fight scenes in Eternals were great. The speedster in Eternals was amazing. I thought Cersei's powers were great. Angelina Jolie did a great job. I just liked everybody.
You got your boy, the Black Knight. Dane's, what's his name? Dane
Whitman.
Dane Whitman. Yeah, but what's his
now, Jay, you already know
Kit
the
Harington
end credit scene and everything, right?
What'd you say?
You know the end credit scene, right?
Yeah, of course. Yep.
All right, so Eternals, the end credit scene. Guys, again, this is full of spoilers because now we're starting to get into the shows and movies that are kind of fairly new. We're going to get into Spidey as well. We see Dane Whitman going for the blade, right? His sword, and we hear Blade himself, right? We hear Marshala Ali.
But see, I didn't even know who it was until I looked it up later. I thought it was Nick Fury because we haven't seen him in a while either, you know?
Yeah, we have. Well, he's up in space. We saw him.
Space, yep. He's with Sword, I guess.
Oh, we saw him in WandaVision. Didn't we see him in WandaVision at the end? Or was that a movie?
That was the post-credit scene, I think, because the scroll didn't the scroll talk to Wanda at the end too.
Yep.
Yeah. And we thought he was at the beach, right? And then he walked away from the back screen. He was on the ship. Yeah. Oh, even Druig was great, dude. I liked all the Eternals. The guys you were supposed to not like, I liked them all. Yeah, the real Jon Snow was in this movie, not like in Hawkeye, the poor man's Jon Snow.
Yeah.
But I'm giving Eternals an 8.5 as well. I really enjoyed it. I'm a sucker for a good story, and I thought Eternals did a great job bringing the story forward, the MCU movie, the MCU as a whole forward a little bit, gave us some great origin, some great fights, some great characters. I can understand why people didn't like it.
Wait, hold on. You talked about one end credit scene, but you didn't talk about the other.
Oh, right. The other one. Jay knows. All right, Jay, you were quiet because you didn't see it, but you know the other one, right?
Yep.
Go ahead.
So you get Eros, Star Fox, and you get Pip the Troll.
Right.
So, all right, going back to retconning, right? I wish they would have done the Infinity War with Adam Warlock and characters like that and Pip the Troll because they were such iconic characters in the comic book run, and that's such a good run, right? But if you go back, we did a speculation video on Eros, and I'm sure are you guys familiar with the Donny Cates Guardians of the Galaxy run?
No, I actually have it. I never read it.
All right, so I think I read half it. It was the death of Rocket Raccoon, but somebody else died instead.
Right, but the main thing is it's the death of Thanos, and before Thanos dies, it was a big plan with him and Hela to input his will and his, I guess, entity and soul into somebody in comic books. And it turns out that there's the Dark Guardians who go, it's a whole big convoluted story, but at the end of it, Thanos actually places his soul into Eros. So
his brother.
His brother. Yep. Because he says, if anyone's going to have my soul, it's going to be another Titan. And he gives it to Eros. I think that was huge, man, because I don't think we've seen the last of Thanos in the MCU. I could be wrong, but he was such a fan favorite, and he's such a big, iconic comic book.
Jay, I'm with you, actually.
Like Jim said. But if you guys go back, I highly suggest reading Donny Cates' Guardians of the Galaxy. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And grab issue 2 and 3. They're still cheap. A good spec book to grab, man, because you get the first appearance of the Dark Guardians that go after. It's almost like Civil War, but cosmic, where we have people going against. You know, everybody thinks that Thanos' soul is in Gamora, but it's really not. So you got a whole bunch of people trying to kill Gamora, but in fact, you got the soul in Eros. So go check that out, because that, as soon as I heard that Eros was in the end credit scene, that's the first thing that popped into my mind.
So there you go. That's all the Eternals. 8.5 from me, 8.5 from Jem. Just a tick higher than Shang-Chi. And with that was early November. And then by Thanksgiving, we get Hawkeye, and we just finished going over this, and I absolutely loved it. Jem, Hawkeye, thoughts, feelings, what do you think?
Yeah, so when I said, my favorite 2 shows, I forgot about Hawkeye. Hawkeye's got to be up there, man. Hawkeye might be my number 2. I think I would have to give Hawkeye a 9.4.
Well, talk about going in with low expectations. I did not expect Hawkeye.
Low expectations,
off guard from the rip.
I like the Hawkeye character enough. I love what they did in the beginning and showing us the Avengers battle for New York from Kate Bishop's perspective. I didn't like the Disney aspect in the beginning with the relationship with her mother and with Jack and everything. But I grew to love the show, man. I really did. We got Kingpin. I liked Echo. I didn't think I was gonna like her. I did like her. I did not like Kazi whatsoever. But
what? Poor man Jon Snow?
It was fun. It was a fun show. I stand by. I think I liked it better than damn. I already gave the score though, but yeah, I have to stick with it. I don't know. It's tough. I enjoyed it though, for sure.
Jay? You didn't come on any of our breakdowns, so I want to hear all about it.
Here's where the chat's gonna beat me up. Remember how I said Loki was okay, and then the end made Loki the last episode? The total opposite for Hawkeye for me, right?
Oh my.
So I love the whole series, right? I love the whole series. I thought it was funny. I thought it was a fun show to watch. I thought it was pretty comic book accurate. I like how they threw the swordsman in there, but not really as, a comic book version, almost like a corny swordsman. You knew who he was, but you really didn't. Here's where it got effed up for me, right? You bring in Kingpin. And Kate Bishop beats him up in their first fight scene. That's bullshit to me.
This is where I'm going to argue with you. I'm going to debate you.
And then Echo kills him.
So here we go. You bring in Kingpin, right? This big baddie. Everybody's expected him. Let me get Kingpin in here. And then it's Kate Bishop's second fight, and she beats Kingpin. He should have broke her back. That was garbage to me. Right. So now you have Kate Bishop beating up Kingpin. So what happens when you bring Daredevil, Punisher, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, all these Elektra? What are they going to do to this guy if Kate Bishop in her second fight beats this dude up? I thought that was garbage. I thought Kingpin should have wrecked havoc. Disappointing.
Okay, can I go now?
Go ahead.
First of all, she didn't beat Kingpin. She took an absolute beating. He was also holding back and more or less pushing her out of the way. She was
a beating. She didn't have a bruise or scratch on her face.
She certainly had a scratch, like right here. But she
that was one of her many moles.
He was holding back. He was holding back, and she beat him on a technicality. That's all.
First of all, Eleanor hit her by the car.
He took an arrow. Like, she didn't scratch this dude. She had to get every arrow at her disposal to go off at one time just to knock him into a wall to knock him out. So I don't think she beat him.
I don't know, man.
And here's my other thing. When Kingpin's after you, you're not really scared that he's going to beat you up. He's got the power. He's got the resources. He got the hand at his disposal. He's got the goons. So it's like, that's not the only imposing thing about him. He runs the city. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I think he kept pushing. He was like shoving her away. Shoving her like things.
Belova was more of a threat in that show than Kingpin. And
I forgot to mention her. She was great.
She was awesome, though.
That's not accurate, man. I don't know, dude. Kingpin should have killed her mom or something cool. Killed the swordsman.
It's your Disney Kingpin, Jay.
He just listen, man. Yeah, exactly. He got beat up. He got destroyed by two chicks, which there's nothing wrong with that, right? But when did you ever see that in the comic books? I mean, come on.
Not even Elektra could work.
They bring this guy in. He got his corny Hawaiian shirt on. He gets beat up by Kate Bishop. He gets shot by, a deaf chick with one leg. I don't know, man. That's not Kingpin to me. You got to bring him in and be scary, dude. Like, he has to be a scary character. Who's scared of this guy now?
He was more scarier in Daredevil for sure.
100%.
Definitely more scarier in Daredevil, but he was also out for blood in Daredevil. It wasn't a real fight. He wasn't going after her. She was going after him, and he was like swatting her away.
Okay, so that's it. You're the Kingpin, right? You hit her with the backhand pimp slap and put her up against the wall, and that's it. You don't take a beating from her. That's just, I don't know.
Kind of embarrassing.
It's embarrassing, exactly.
He didn't take a beating. He took an explosive arrow and everything else. That's the only way she beat him. There was no hand-to-hand. They were on different levels. It was like,
listen, at this point, I think Jake Paul beat up Disney's Kingpin.
So what do you give? All right, what do you give a grade on Hawkeye?
You know what? I still give it a 9 because I thought it was great. I thought that the best part of the last episode is when he shrunk the van down with the Pym arrow.
The owl.
Like, what are we gonna do now? And the owl just flies away. I was dying laughing. If they would have left Kingpin alone and just made him a badass dude, it would have been like a 9.5 for me because I really enjoyed it. It was Christmas time. It was Christmas themed. Them bitching Kingpin like that disappointed me, man. I'll give it a 9 still, though.
I don't think they did that. He took a shot from a car, and got up. She didn't put a scratch on it. Literally every arrow had to explode.
Gary, you got to take a trip down to the Bronx. People get hit by cars. Crackheads get hit by cars every day and bounce back.
Well, first of all, crackheads got freakishly strong strength.
And he did. And he kept pushing her away. Get away from me. You're annoying. Get away. Get away. He didn't punch her. He kept like throwing her and push. Every arrow had to explode. And he had to be ejaculated into a wall.
Ejaculated.
Ejected?
For him to not knocked out. Oh, and by the way, he did get up and walk it off. So like he wasn't going to go kill this little chick. She was just in her way. She was a nuisance. I like the debate though, because the chat's even going back and forth. So
he was a punching bag. He was a punching bag for Echo, and he was a punching bag for Kate Bishop.
He took 2 gunshots to the face from Echo. He's going to bounce back. He's coming back. He's coming back.
To fight who? To fight who?
I like
Daredevil. He wants the rematch against Kate Bishop.
Is that who he's coming back to fight? Because that's obviously all he could handle.
No.
Or can't.
They're not gonna do him wrong. He was just pushing her away. She was that was it. He didn't get his ass whipped. He got hit by a car, and the arrows, it was like getting hit with a grenade. Like, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead. It's funny, even after all that, Jay, with the 9.0, I'm gonna go with the 9.0 as well. I'm gonna give this the same grade as I gave WandaVision. These were like a 1 and a 1A for the Disney Plus for the year. I'm super excited about what Disney Plus has for us next year, and we will get into next year really quickly. We'll go down next year's. We'll go, break it down really fast. But as for Hawkeye, I just liked it was our first Disney Plus show where we really got a new character that we're going to have in the future. And one thing that all these Disney Plus shows did, literally every single Disney Plus show, except maybe What If, we got a young Avenger. So I think that's really cool to look forward to in the future. And we're going to look back, everybody in the chat, the 3 of us, we know what's happening, but the casual fan, not the comic book fan, but the fan of the shows and the movies, when Avengers, young Avengers do finally come, it's going to be really cool for them to say, oh, I saw all these characters in all these shows previously, and they're all coming together. So I think that'll be really cool. And with that, let's get into Spider-Man, because you think you guys disagreed with Jay before. You just wait till now. I'm going to go, let's start with Jem, Spider-Man, and this will be full of spoilers, guys. So if you haven't seen it yet, please either mute us or eat the spoilers or leave. But we are going to get into spoilers. So Jem, actually, no, I'm going to start with Jay. I'm going to start with Jay.
Okay. Spider-Man, right? You got to go see it. It's Spider-Man. We all knew what we were getting into, right? Listen, spoilers are not, if you're on any type of social media, if you're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, I don't care what you're on. We knew we were getting 3 Spider-Men for about a year, probably over than that, right? We knew we were going to get the villains. Loved every aspect of the movie, enjoyed it, laughed, Aunt May died. That was great. Loved the whole scene. I hated 3 Spider-Men in one movie. I thought it was corny. I said it in our live show 2 nights ago. If it was just Tom Holland and the original villains from those Spider-Man movies, those Sony Spider-Man movies, I would have said, this is great. I'm not a fan of the multiverse at all. I hate it. I hope it ends at Doctor Strange, because it's just a backdoor in case shit goes wrong for the MCU. And I don't like that.
I actually agree with you, and I'm praying too. I'm thinking it does end with Doctor Strange, but go ahead. I agree with you.
I hope it ends.
It gives an easy answer. But go ahead,
dude. Listen, man. If it was just Tom Holland and those villains, I would have appreciated it much more. Bringing Garfield in and bringing Tobey Maguire in. I don't want to watch Spider-Man crack each other's back and have corny comment. That part killed it for me, dude. I'm like, I don't know, man. I just didn't. That point on, I was just like, oh, this is whack, man. I was expecting, Ned Leeds to bust out his hobgoblin. Then I seen everyone talked about he slimmed down in the movie.
He was
still, yeah, he was
I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah, I don't know what that was all about. That's it for me, man. Like, listen, I like each Spider-Man individually. I like the Tobey Maguire movies. I liked actually Andrew Garfield the best as Spider-Man and not Peter Parker's. That's the consensus on from what most people like. I just didn't like the 3 Spider-Men. You know, it would have been dope if they would have brought 1 Spider-Man in besides Peter Parker and it was Miles Morales. Then I would have been like, this movie's a home run, a knockout.
I disagree. I think you need Miles in his own movie or something else. You can't bring Miles into this movie.
But he has to be introduced, dude.
He does. But this wasn't that time.
But you bring 3 Spider-Men in? That makes sense?
Come on. You do.
No way.
So what's your grade?
Dude, I still, like I said, it was a good movie. It was a feel-good movie, right? You laughed, you cried, you enjoyed the action. I give it an 8.5. I didn't like the 3 Spider-Men, dude. It just wasn't for me. I don't like the whole multiverse thing. Call me crazy. I like 1 Spider-Man in the MCU. That's it. No matter who it is, just 1. If you're gonna bring another one in, bring in Miles and have him battle with these guys.
What if let me ask you this. What if they don't bring in Miles, but they brought in Spider-Gwen?
How though? How would they bring in Spider-Gwen?
I don't know. It's the multiverse. How would they bring in Miles?
They could.
Miles is not the multiverse.
Miles hasn't been in any other movies.
Miles' uncle is already in the MCU. Prowler is already there, right?
Yeah.
So
his dad could be a cop on scene. Dude, just like they brought him in the video game for PlayStation. You bring him in just like that.
Well, hold on. Technically, you could do Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen in the MCU as well. Nothing happened to Gwen Stacy in the MCU, right?
Nothing happened to Gwen Stacy.
So we don't have a Gwen in the MCU yet, do we?
I don't think so.
No, we don't. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Jay, what are you giving it? 1 to 10?
I give it an 8.5.
8.5. All right. Jem, you're a Spidey guy. So
I'm a Spidey guy.
Differently.
I loved the 3 Spider-Man aspect of this movie because we all knew it was rumored, but we still weren't really sure, right? So when they did it, I was just like, they did it. These crazy SOBs did it.
He actually
did. We knew we were getting the villains. I liked it, but I didn't like it. It felt like they were nerfed a little bit. They were treated like jokes a little bit. I didn't like how there wasn't a big surprise villain at the end, and it was just, it was the guy that's been hanging around you for the entire movie. Okay, got it. So that, there was a lot of things I didn't like about it, but I think it was a great fan service movie. I love the 3 Spider-Man interactions. Andrew Garfield stole the show. Now everybody wants an Amazing Spider-Man 3. Tobey Maguire came back. Like, I kind of thought that wasn't going to happen, but he came back. I'm still going to give it a high score, though. I think fan service. It made a movie that we wanted to see, and it saved us from the Tom Holland and supporting cast crew, which I'm not a fan of. It took away from that a little bit. But I'm going to give it a 9.6, man. I'm going to give it a really high score. It's not a 9.8, a 9.9, and not a 10. But I think it was a fun-ass movie, and I really am shocked what they pulled off with it. It took 7 movies just to make this movie.
Good point.
At least 7 movies.
All right. So now
hold on. Before you go, can I just throw in something to add to Jem?
Yeah.
I think moving forward, the next Spider-Man movie is going to be the best Spider-Man movie we get.
I'm going to get into that.
I forgot to say that. It leaves him in the best place that this version of Spider-Man has ever been in for a new Spider-Man arc. For 100,000. I forgot. That's one of the reasons why it's so high. And the fact that they dropped the symbiote in the MCU as well. Gary, take it away.
Now we can get a Gwen. Now we can get maybe a real Mary Jane. Maybe we get a Harry Osborn. Like, they literally gave us a blank slate and Tom Holland.
Like, hold on. I think we get a Felicia, dude.
Yes,
we could do that too.
That. And they did give Miles Morales the Easter egg.
They did.
They did. 100%. They did. 100%.
And nobody's bringing this up. We got Daredevil.
Yes, in the MCU. Yeah, there you go.
And I think again, like the 3 Spider-Men and like the villains, I think it goes under the radar because we were expecting it for so long. We knew it was coming. What I was shocked at is it came so fast. First 15 minutes, it's like, there he is. Boom.
But isn't that better than wanting it, and they don't give it to us? You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm not taking a shot at Zendaya, by the way. I think she was awesome. I'm not a like I'm
yeah, but she was Michelle Jones. Who is that? You know?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the supporting cast. I don't like Ned or
Flash sucks.
MJ or Flash. I hope they actually are written out of the Spider-Man series at this point.
Which they kind of are in a good spot to do.
They can do that now. They have a blank slate where if they do want them back, they can do it, right? If they don't, and they want to bring Tom Holland, Peter Parker in a different direction, they can. Like it's the best. Jay, if you said it or Jeff, whoever said it, it's the best we've seen Tom Holland Spider-Man yet. Like,
how about no more with the reliability of Tony Stark or Doctor Strange? Nobody knows him. He got the homemade
school costume. This is Peter Parker now. Let's hope they do a good job. Like this is so for the first time, and I've liked all the Spider-Man movies. Don't get me wrong. All the MCU Spider-Man movies. I like Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
Me too. I like them all.
This is the best opportunity. I don't know how else to put it, right? I mean, this is we may get the Spider-Man movie that we hoped for 3 movies ago.
Well, now you know what? We got rid of the high school stuff. Now we're gonna get him working for the Daily Bugle. Now we're gonna get more Jonah J. We'll see what else. I don't think it's one, man. I think it's gonna be Black Cat. I think that's who we see next.
We got no more tech, old school costume, broke Spidey, no family, no friends. Like this could be really, really, really.
He's got the depth. He's got the great power, great responsibility.
Yep.
And they did, you know what they did good about this movie and why I like the 3 Spider-Man stuff? They asked all the tough hitting questions. They brung up the webbing thing. They brung up all the stuff that we wanted to know as fans in the movie. Like not that we wanted to know, but that we wanted to see play out.
Dude, we got an Andrew Garfield redemption with Zendaya saving MJ. That was emotional. We got Aunt May dying. That was emotional. We got the chill factor. Yo, you didn't get the chills when Andrew Garfield came out. And then when Toby, our Spider-Man, our Spider-Man hit that big screen, Jay, you didn't get the chills? Watching him walk. Oh my God. I got the chills.
I was like, yes, they did.
And we probably got the grittiest, dirtiest, most physical fight in the MCU. Green Goblin putting Spider-Man through floors of the condo complex, power bombing him. That was
powerbomb was crazy. Yeah.
That was crazy. Like that was a straight up street fight, like a brawl. I thought that was awesome. I mean, I really like this movie. And like I was gonna give it like a 9.0, and now even talking about it, get myself all worked up. I'm going up to like a 9. I'm going 9.2. I'm going 9.2. I really like this. In my opinion, this Hawkeye and WandaVision were the highlights of 2021. Look, were there cheesy moments? Yeah, there were. But there were great moments in that movie too. Like the 3 of them talking about their moments, right? Their power, responsibility moments, their deaths, everything they've dealt with. I just thought that was good. Jay didn't like it. How do you not like that? I just thought it was great.
Dude, I just like one Spider-Man, dude. That's it. Give me one Spider-Man and a good Spider-Man villain.
And now that's what you got.
Yeah, now thank God. I said, I think moving forward, I think the next Spider-Man movie might be the best MCU movie we see by far. The best.
We're essentially going to get a Spider-Man origin story where we don't need the true origin anymore. Like we're getting here he is. We know what he's been through, right? We already know the origin. We know they can literally get right into the Spider-Man movie for number 4. Right into it. We've got
right into it.
Backstory now. Like, let's go. Let's off to the races. I beginning to end, I didn't a little boring in the beginning. We kind of knew everything in the beginning of this movie. Once, I was a little corny, I will say. I'm going to fix you guys and then send you home. Okay, I didn't like that. But as soon as Norman Osborn went back into that Green Goblin mentality, that fight between him and Peter was I thought it was just awesome. I really did. I really enjoyed it.
He had a costume redemption too.
Oh, Green Goblin immediately got rid of that stupid helmet.
Yeah.
So, all right. So there we go. That is our breakdown quickly. Well, quickly, it was over an hour of 2021's MCU. And quickly, let's go through 2022. I mean, fast, like 2 minutes. We've got Doctor Strange coming out. We've got Thor, Love and Thunder, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Let's go to Disney Plus, possibly What If Season 2. We have no dates for Moon Knight, She-Hulk, and Secret Invasion that are slated for 2022. Guys, quickly, do we see any of that what of that Disney Plus stuff do we see in 2022, as well as Miss Marvel?
I mean, Moon Knight's got to be the most ready, right? We got that trailer. It looked like they're far along in production.
Now, I know you guys are most excited for Moon Knight, right? We could all agree.
For the show,
for Disney Plus. For Disney Plus.
Yeah, absolutely. But hold on, Garrett. Hold on, man. Rewind.
Yeah.
Before we get all that, we get fucking Batman, dude, which I think is going to be better than anything the MCU has done so far, in my opinion.
Wow. That's a bold statement.
I want someone to go back and clip this scene. Batman.
1 hour and 10 minutes into this video.
Well,
Batman,
Jay, do you think Dark Knight is better than the MCU?
I do think Dark Knight.
So I mean, that wouldn't even surprise me because I already think that's the card that DC fans have. Dark Knight Returns. You know, I mean, so is that what it was?
No,
yeah,
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. Yeah.
If you had to watch Dark Knight or any, what's your best MCU movie?
There's a lot of movies that Dark Knight would get ran before. Yes.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, I'm a Batman guy, so you're talking to the wrong person.
Yeah.
And this is an MCU discussion, Jay.
And that's exactly. We get Morbius too, man. We get more.
Yeah, Morbius looks promising.
Yo, we might get caught off guard with Morbius. We might. It looks good. It looks good. So, all right. Again, Disney Plus. We're all looking forward to Moon Knight. Hopefully, we get all this stuff. I think Miss Marvel is going to be the first one out of the gate, but I don't believe we have official dates yet. Of the 3 movies, Doctor Strange, Thor, and Black Panther, are we all looking forward to Doctor Strange the most? Because we do have to go quick. Spidey end credit scenes.
Yeah.
Thor for me, dude. I'm excited for Gore the God.
Oh, but you're not a multiverse guy.
I think the multiverse, I know the multiverse is going to bring in something that everybody's going to be shocked at.
There you go.
Maybe it brings us some mutants or some Fantastic Four or something.
So, really quick, too, we got to go back to Spidey. The end credit scene. What was the first end credit scene? Because I forgot. Oh, Venom.
Yeah, the symbiote. Yeah.
We got to drop a symbiote in Mexico right now. And then the second end credits scene. And I like that they just took him out of the MCU. That was just fine. And we got the freaking trailer for Doctor Strange. It looked amazing. So, Jay, you're still more excited about Thor right now than Doctor Strange?
Yeah. It's so hard, man. Thor again, like Gore the God Butcher. That storyline by Jason Aaron is such a good.
They need to do it the right way.
If they do it the right way, that's it for me. I'm excited for Black Panther too. I'm excited to see how they move forward with the Black Panther. That's what I want to see.
T'Challa.
And
right?
then
not the Black Panther, but T'Challa.
Yeah, T'Challa, exactly.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, listen, I bashed the multiverse. I'm excited. I think Doctor Strange 2 sets up the future. So I'm excited for everything, but if I had to pick one, it would be Thor. And I'm not really a Thor guy, but I'm a Gore guy, and I love his backstory, and I love his origin story, how he came to be. And if you guys, he's relatable, man. He's a villain like Doom. It's like, I get this guy. Like, I understand why he's mad.
Which was Thanos. That's, Thanos trying to save people by killing people, right?
So I would have to say Thor I'm most excited for, then Black Panther, then Doctor Strange.
And all of us, Moon Knight, right?
Whatchamacallit? Show-wise?
Just Disney Plus.
Yeah, Disney Plus wise, Moon Knight, the Marvels. I think Adam the Blue Marvel, who I'm a big fan of.
Miss Marvel? The Marvels is the movie that's coming out in 2023. Miss Marvel is coming out probably in 2022.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the Marvels is actually Captain Marvel #2.
That Miss Marvel is not going to be for us. It's going to be geared toward the younger generation. And watch, mark my words on that.
I think you're right, because she's a young
girl. Which is fine. But I wouldn't. My expectations are not going to be high for it. I've read her stuff, but yeah, it's geared towards younger kids.
I'm excited for Moon Knight. I am excited for She-Hulk. I bet you that's going to be pretty good. Secret Invasion, we'll see. We haven't seen anything about Secret Invasion since WandaVision. So, Jem, before we get out of here, what do you think? Doctor Strange, Thor, and Black Panther. What are you looking forward to the most?
Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to all of them for different reasons. I really want to see Namor show up in Black Panther 2 for different reasons, but to still see a good movie as well. Thor, yeah, I want to see Jason Aaron's run brought to life, man. I want to see Gore. I want to see Jane Foster become Thor as well. I think that's going to be good. And Multiverse of Madness, I have no idea what to expect. I have no idea what they're going to do. Like, how do you we had Loki and we had Spider-Man No Way Home. So, like, what's left for the multiverse? I think Jay is onto something with this. May close the loop, but then that would mean that Kang wouldn't last much longer if they close the multiverse loop, right? Because then
no, he still can because he's time. That's time. They're two different.
One universe. Right?
Okay, they could go back to Mortis. They could go back to Kang. They could go. They could even go back to Iron Lad. You know.
Yeah, good point. So yeah, I that's a good theory because they probably know, just like the Infinity Stones, you can't do the same thing forever. But to that argument, they haven't done much multiverse stuff. They did 2 things, so I don't know. We'll have to see. Again, I have no idea what to expect, so that makes me interested.
Well, we have to wait a long time. It's not coming out till May, so we have a long wait. But then we got May, July, and November, and again, no Disney Plus dates yet. So who knows when the hell that's coming? All right, before we get out of here, Jay, Pressable Defects. I know you guys are starting up your videos again, starting next week, I bet, right? Right after the new year?
Yeah, we pretty much did a relaunch. We got a year and a half under our belts. We kind of understood how the YouTube thing works to an extent. So I wouldn't say more professional because we're still going to be gritty and curse and have porn stars on and all that stuff. But we're going to polish it, like Matt likes to say. We'll still have we'll have a new version of New Comic Book Day. We'll have our Defect Spec. We'll have our Cold Keys. We'll have a live show every other Wednesday. We'll have a special collaboration with Gary that we're working on.
Yeah, we have a fun collaboration video. We're in
talks. I'm sure Jem will pop on. It's going to be good. So a lot of excited guys. If you ain't subscribed, subscribe. Check us out. Almost like a Howard Stern type of vibe to it.
Chat, your channel's down in the description below.
There you go.
I think I might have Comicstorian in there instead of you, Jem. I think I copied and pasted last week's video.
I think I was here last week, no?
Yeah, you definitely were. So, Jem, what do you have on the channel?
Yeah, you know what's funny is how you say, you have time under your belt and you think you learn the algorithm. I mean, I feel like I'm still trying to learn it too, because once you think you got it, it changes on you, And I've recently been doing some polishing. Okay, these videos are slow starters or they don't perform well. And I have a theory on YouTube's algorithm with the last 10 videos, because if you're a creator, you see that dashboard. It always compares everything you do to the last 10 videos. So my theory was right, man. I stopped doing stuff that didn't perform as strongly and just try to focus on stuff that would work well. And lo and behold, those top 10 videos averages got better and better. So I'm going to continually try to do that. Although I liked doing stuff, I loved doing the convo with Rock and Robbie. It would perform decently, long term, but that first hour it was killing me, man. So it sucks, but this is what we do, man. So I'm gonna just keep on trying to put out good videos, man. I'm still doing them every day, even though I told myself if I don't have something, I'm not gonna force something. You know what I mean? But it hasn't really happened yet. So
there you go.
Yeah, man.
If you're not subscribed to Jem, of course, Jem Mint Collectibles. Jay's over there at Pressable Defects, and then I've got. Let's see. I think I have my Q&A video part 1 coming out tomorrow. I'm going to try to get part 2 out Monday. But more importantly, and Jem, this is you too. Whatnot. In January, I'm going to be doing Whatnot weekly for the month of January, every Monday night at 8:30. You can catch that link at the top of the chat there. If you haven't already purchased something on Whatnot, use that link, get $10 off your first purchase. It doesn't even have to be with me. You can click on that link and you still get your $10 off if you go buy something from Jem, because Jem goes weekly too on there. Jem Mint Collectibles over on Whatnot. I'm VERYGARY _ Comics. It's basically they take our YouTube auction and it's a streamlined version. Now, our YouTube auctions aren't going anywhere. Don't think that for a second. But it's a fun way to do it. It's a fun chat. I mean, Jem, you have a good time doing it, right? I mean, you blow through in an hour. It goes by.
Yeah, it's a blast. And I do the Whatnot Wednesday, so we have a whole crew that we do it with. And I always feel like because we do it for an hour each. I always want to see what it's like if I just go like 2-3 hours on there, because what you can get done in an hour is like the equivalent to 6 hours on YouTube, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy. So it's an auction app, guys. Basically take our YouTube auction and condense it into a 1-hour show.
That's what Flush knows
with
what
that,
the hell it is.
I don't think there's anything else. I do want to say to you two guys, thank you for this past year, because you guys came on here and we did these breakdowns since January, and I do appreciate it. Big thanks to Benny, Comicstorian, and of course Guy and Matt from Pressable Defects. But I want to thank you two for like taking time out. I mean, week in and week out. Yeah, you missed some, I missed some. We all kind of missed some throughout the year, but it was a lot of fun. I hope you guys had fun, and I'm hoping
it was fun, dude. Thanks for having us, man. I listen. It's the best when you come in and talk about it. You see what the chat has to say. It's everybody's different opinions. That we all don't agree. That's what makes it great.
That helps, right? That helps. The banter back and forth. That's a lot of fun in the chat.
There's never hard feelings, even in the chat, man. Like, yo, listen, everybody's entitled to their own opinions, man. That's what makes this hobby tick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely. So, and we're all in this together, guys. The more people in our hobby, the different ways to collect, it helps everybody. We're all in this together, and it's a lot of fun. So again, thank you two for coming all year. We did this. We started in January, so I appreciate it. Thank you. And with
yes, sir, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And anytime. Hopefully we get into this again next year, and these Disney Plus shows don't take too long to get out. So, all right. Anything else you guys want to add before we head out?
Happy New Year, everybody. Happy, healthy New Year.
Happy, healthy New Year. All right, guys. Thanks again. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much. Don't forget to follow these guys. Follow us on Whatnot. Have a great New Year's. Be safe out.